All right, well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen. I've been meaning to make this video for a little while now. Like, I uploaded this all the way back in May of 2021, and like since then, there's actually been like quite a few changes to the speedrun in general that we've seen throughout the last like year and a half, I guess I could say. Um, So I'm just gonna be going over. I made a list of all the things I need to go over because for the most part the run stays almost identical, but I wanted to keep track of all the things that did change so that if anyone comes and sees this video, the one that I am like critiquing right now, the in-depth guide, that they actually get like the right information and not looking at something that's kind of dated at this point. If I ignore any of the levels, like you can see right here, I start off with Bat to the Bone. If I ignore any of the levels, that's because they don't change. Um, so like World 1-1, no difference. Bat to the Bone, though, the second level, there's a few changes, so I'm going to be going over those and so on and so forth, but that's about it, honestly. I'm not going to say right off the bat every single time like I did with the in-depth video, but for this one time I'm going to say it. But right off the bat with Bat to the Bone, I need to go over one little thing where if you ended World 1-1 here, it actually happens in the at the time recording the record that I hold for emulator. If you end off the level by getting a fire sword, your path is going to completely change. So you can see here I get it. So instead of taking the left side path and progressing as usual, we're going to go take the right side path instead. And this does save time. I don't know why it saves time, how it saves time, but it saves time. And I was doing a side-by-side comparison on how exactly the time save works, but I haven't gotten around to it, and until I do, this is the path that we're going to take. Which also leads me to the strat in here. I'm going to mute it because that's fucking annoying, most of my self-talk. Normally you would go right here, obviously, and take the fire sword, but instead you cut across instead. I'm going to skip ahead to that exact point because we're not going to be able to see it. Yeah, right here. So again, normally you would progress as usual, grab the left side sword, and then you sprint through. But we obviously still have a lot of fire sword left, so instead we just cut on the right side over here. I don't think I go over that in the in-depth guide, but that's what we do. And then that takes me, funny enough, perfect segue into the next little skip. It's not even a skip, but like right here, this is all the same, like you jump off here, but in the guide I take a low jump here, completely unnecessary. It very nitpicky, I guess you could say. Like the amount of time you save by just jumping instead of going for a low jump is so minuscule, but I feel like it's enough for me to talk about because there's still one other thing I need to bring up with this level. But you could see you literally just jump off and then everything's fine. I don't think I go for the next little skip, do I? No. So gotta consult skip number 3. But like, in theory, if you don't have the fire sword, this is how it plays out. I'm just gonna turn this down just a smidge, but I'll leave the volume. Or I'm gonna try to at least. So you grab the fire sword and then you just jump off as normal. And that's that. Perfect segue into the next little skip with this game. Again, this one super fucking optional, super minuscule, but I want to talk about it just because it's something that I found just fucking around in the game, to be completely honest. I was just playing for fun at my dad's place, just playing through the game, and then I thought, what if you could just skip going on that little mountain there and just jump straight into the tombstone or coffin? And sure enough, you could just take an oddly specific jump and then just end up on that one instead. Super minuscule, but like I thought it was funny, so I figured I should include it. But that's it for the second level of World 1, and it's the only change, funny enough, that World 1 sees compared to the in-depth guide. So with 2-2, we're just gonna turn that down. It all stays pretty much identical. The only difference that I include for this is that we don't I don't go for the shield throw anymore. I don't know that anyone goes for the shield throw. Like, you can see the time at the top here as well. Like, the fact that your thing still ticks down, like your invincibility timer. When you pick up the mask, like, I didn't pause it right, but you only have 2 seconds left, and then I may as well show it off in emulator because I think it's the exact same scenario. When you don't go for the shield throw, you just jump over, hit it. You still pick it up with 2 seconds remaining. It's like on the lower end of 2, while in the in-depth guide it's at the very beginning of 2. Again, you can't see it because it's at 20, but still, it's a higher 2 versus a lower 2, and you eliminate so much of the risk involved. Like, you actually get runs past here. There were so many runs that would die because either you don't have shield throw, or you don't have shield throw or magic bolt, or you just fall off the edge, you miss the throw, whatever. Like, now it's so consistent. You jump over to the thing as intended, hit it normally, jump back, you're ending up at almost the exact same time. The end of the level is so inconsistent anyways that it doesn't even really matter, to be honest. Did I really grab invincibility in the why? I guess I'm kind of low. I guess I didn't want to risk it. That's fucking bizarre. I didn't even know I did that. Okay. But the end section here is so inconsistent anyways. Like, you'll gain or lose time like there. Fucking, that's a time loss already. But, like, super inconsistent anyways. Dem Bones at the very end, that hasn't changed from the speedrun guide. I still think Dem Bones is like one of the most inconsistent, if not the most inconsistent level that you could play. But at least this way, you're guaranteed to see the end of it, and like a lot more runs are going to progress because you're skipping out and throwing the shield at the switch. Next skip we don't see until the Bokor fight. Actually, I'll show it in the guide, obviously. There's technically a faster path that you could take in Quicken the Dead. I don't go for it just because I like the aspect that you'll be able to get extra abilities in Quicken the Dead. Like, everything here is normal, as it would be if you were to get the everything would be the same as if you're going for the faster cycle, but I like to take that extra little time loss to... Sorry, it's getting hard to like talk over myself. It's so bizarre. I like see like that. You got Doomstrike when you might have not gotten normally. You kill all these guys. You could usually stop to pick up 1 or 2 things. If you pick up 2, you're cutting it a little close. So you have to have had good movement up until this point. I like killing the alligator guys because they're guaranteed to drop something of the I don't even know if I'd call it tier 4 item loot, whatever, but I don't talk about it in the guide because it was still kind of unknown at the time. But every 4th kill is what determines if you're gonna get something. At the point, like at the time of recording the guide video, I thought that everything was completely random. Like, if I killed the skeleton, he could drop 1 coin or shield throw. I didn't realize that drops were cyclical based, I guess you could call it, or like not cyclical based, but on a counter. So if I'd killed 0, 1, or 2 skeletons or enemies in general that don't drop guaranteed items like a key, gold key, etc., if he was going to be like the 3rd kill of the table, like I already killed 2 guys, I go kill him, get 3rd kill, chances are I'm getting either nothing or like 1 coin or something. If I already killed 3 guys and I kill him, he's guaranteed to drop like money bag, diamond, ability, sword, shield charge, basically. So we kind of implement a kill counter in the game. It's I wouldn't even call it arbitrary, but you really gotta keep it in mind. You don't have to, it helps. Planning out how you're gonna kill enemies is good to keep in mind because certain enemies have a certain loot pool. Like this guy, I don't know what his exact loot drops are, but I know from the amount of times I've killed him where he was the 4th kill, I've gone shield throw, I've gone blacksmith, I've gone doomstrike, like the pure blade. Like, he's a really good skeleton to kill in theory, but with how fast you're moving, like, I only kill him just as insurance so he doesn't hit me on my way off. But the amount of times he's dropped something good because he was my 4th kill, it's unfortunate. So normally you'd want to kill him when he wouldn't be the fourth kill. So when you're running through the swamp here, it's a good way to keep an eye on what your loot pool is like. I could show it off perfectly, actually. So that's probably 3 kills, and then, or that was definitely the 3rd kill, because then that skeleton I just killed was the 4th one. It's hard to tell, but that was the coin bag that he just dropped. And then even though my kill counter set at 0 right now, kill the alligator, he drops a sword charge. And there's only a few enemies that are like that. There's the alligators that are guaranteed 4 drop. The Yetis, funny enough, are not. I would have thought that they would be. It's most of the time like a mini boss, essentially. So in World 1, you don't have a mini boss, so no one has a guaranteed 4 kill drop. In World 2, you got the alligators, guaranteed 4 drop. World 3, you have the Yetis, which for whatever reason just kind of give random loot. World 4, I think the Goatmen are 4 drop, but like there's no point in killing them during a speedrun, so it's super fucking useless. And then World 5, you have the Dark Knights, which are a guaranteed 4 item drop. So that's good. Or 4 kill drop, my apologies. So that's a good thing to keep in mind, is keep an eye on the loot pools and your kill counter. But with that being said, the rest of it plays out the same up until the Bokor fight. Because the way I do it in here, the way I show it off is with, it's the Doomstrike strat, which is kind of an old strat, but I'll go over it. So normally, same thing applies, wait to stomp 5 times, then you start moving. And then you go for a Doomstrike in the strat video. What I like to do now instead, I'm sure I go for it in the emulator, because there's an even newer strat. But in theory, if you don't like the Doomstrike strat, because I'm not a big fan of it anymore, you could go for this little guy. I think I show it off, because there's a few different strats you can pull off. There, like, you could do whatever you want with Bokor, honestly. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Oh no, that's the best strat. Oh, because I'm on, that's the world record, never mind. That's the best strat you could do, is with Magic Bolt, and then optimally you kill those guys a bit better than I do there. And then same deal, let him chase you on the outside of the ring, just so that he always moves in a pretty consistent pattern. Like, he won't, if you spawn him in the middle, like, all those guys are gonna like diverge all over the fucking place. But if you keep him in the corner, they're guaranteed to run out in like a pretty closed space. Do I get it twice in world record? Yeah, I do.
He's so good at the game.
That's hilarious. But in theory, if you don't like that strat, that was like maybe my 4th time or 3rd time ever pulling. That was like my 1st time or pulling it off both times. Like, you get him on the 1st try and then the 2nd. In emulator, I don't know how I do the fight, to be honest. But it's all the same. Let him stop. Yeah, okay, I go for the spinny strat here. This like, up until learning how to do fast Bokor, this is my favorite strat. Do a little spin, do an overhead, and that's it. And then you just keep, well, I fucked it up there, but you could just keep jumping into the guys as they spawn to get onto this face faster, but whatever. Does the stomp. And then here, if you're super lucky, you're able to hit all of them in one swoop. It's really hard to pull off. But otherwise, yeah, you could just kill them whatever way you want. The best way is to try to go for all 5 in one hit. It's super rare, but it's possible.
Oh, what? I just saw that.
But yeah, optimally, you learn how to do the fast Bokor, just how to line them up perfectly. Yeah, that's about it, honestly. So the next little skip that I don't mention in the guide video, because everything is pretty much the exact same thing. Like, we still go for this strat, it's all the same. It's a bit easier to pull off now than it was back then. Like, we kind of know how to line it up better. This is all the same too. There, I like to take a bit of a woe jump on the left side. Doesn't change anything, but I feel safer doing it. And then here, another woe jump. Unless I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely fucking wrong, talking out of my ass, whatever. So the next little thing is over here, actually, where in the guide video you'll see I take a woe jump there, that's fine. And then you just, normally, you'll jump over them regularly, which is what I used to do until Dodon came up with a new strat. And then you jump off to the left there. The new strat Go all the way. Man, chapters are pretty great when they actually work. Unless you're here and just as the whole thing's watery grave, whatever. Let's go with the flow now, what I like to do. Because of the done, it's faster, which is good. That's a bit risky. I don't like that. Now we just take ledge boosts off of every single flow. Ledge boost. No! Dumbass.
Oh my god, he's so good at the game. Oh my god, he did the. It's rough as it is.
So yeah, you'll take the ledge boost off of every single one. Another ledge boost. Another one. And then we take one final one there to end up on the little ledge. So that you don't go on the left side, you just go straight the entire way. So that's cool. But I guess I didn't go for that in the emulator world record, which is so bizarre. When April? Meh. I might have been too scared back then. Who knows? And the next skip has us on it has us on 3-4. Cannonball Run, I believe. So back then, especially, this level used to throw me so far off. Like, I lost so many runs to this goddamn level. And the reason was because of... I'll try to get one less blurry. I used to never know if I was going to get a ledge boost or a low jump. But now, if you run at, like, that kind of little corner, and I don't know how much of the left side, or right side here, there's a bit of leeway where if you run off at that angle, you'll just fall off, no ledge boost. Now, the way I play it, I always go for the left side, kind of around here, so that you're guaranteed to get a ledge boost. That's just how I prefer it. You can do whichever method you like. If you like the ledge boost better, go for it there. If you like the low jump, you take it a bit more over here. There's a bit more leeway over here, like you don't have to kind of aim for that little perfect pixel. You can be safer with it, basically. And in the speedrun guide, I talk about it for fucking ever, about how impossible this jump is and how annoying this jump is, but like, it's not that bad anymore. Honestly, the fucking killer is at the very end now lately that I've been having issues with, and I don't really know why. It's the dodging the cannonballs part. There's like, every run I do, there's maybe like a 15% chance I just died to what, like, the final cannonball for whatever reason. There's no point. But there's nothing you can really do about that. It's just practicing, and there might be a buffer strat, but it might just be me used to playing on NTSC, and maybe on PAL something's different with it. Who knows? Because now we run on PAL as well. Yeah, just like that. You just take a low jump. It's so much easier. Then the next little change is the cadaver fight, funny enough. Similar concept where you just throw your shield at him as he approaches you, and then you hit him. But back then we used the little strat where you just let him walk towards you and then you hit him again. There, I fail it in the speedrun guide, but it doesn't matter. The better method, I sure hope I pull it off against Cadaver in the world record video. I could turn up the volume here because I'm not talking. Yeah, just throw him, you hit him, you go behind him, and then you throw it again, and then just keep on rinsing and repeating. If you have the windshield, if you block, it's a little bit faster if I'm not mistaken. That's what I like to do, at least when I fight him, but yeah. Faster method, really easy to pull off. It's not a complicated trick in the slightest. So there's no reason to not go for that, rather than playing it safe and letting him approach you. So, no point, honestly. Not even nitpicky, because it's a pretty good time save, this one. And then in 4-2, everything plays out the same. You still need Armageddon and all that. Or Armageddon, you still need Doomstrike and everything. But the one change is right here, funny enough, where everything plays out the exact same way. But in here, we would go to the right and then over here, end the level. And sometimes that skeleton will spawn earlier and he'll punch you, and it's a whole fucking deal. But now, the way we do it, it's way too far ahead. See, it thinks this whole thing's Cadaver. That makes no fucking sense. Whatever. Now the way we take it is just go on the left, take a low jump, and then save plenty of time. The skeleton, I don't think it hits you. And that, it's a bit of a riskier it's a bit of a riskier low jump, but honestly, like the amount of time you save, it's nice. You eliminate the risk of the skeleton. You just have to time a double jump properly, and like it's not a hard window to hit. You just can't do it too early or too late. You just gotta get a good double jump. That's about it, honestly. It looks like a scary jump, like one that you can't really make, but honestly, it's not that bad. Oh, honestly, this level, the only difference is that now I just damage boost through everything. Like there's no stopping and waiting. I think here I stop, like not in the demonstration, but in the when I'm talking, I stop and wait for a lot of the guys, the saws. But now you could just damage boost all kinds, just as long as you're in the air when you get hit by the saws. Nothing, it doesn't throw you on the ground. Like if you're standing on the ground, you get hit by the saws, it launches you back, and then you got to get up, and it plays that animation. But if you're in the air, you just take a hit, and the game goes on, and you get to damage boost a bunch. But the real time save is in the Glitter Scum fight. So when we fought Glitter Scum initially, it was the usual, like wait for him to breathe fire, hit him from behind, and then when he shoots the snot, you purposely take the damage to go on to the next fire attack. It's similar, but we've gotten a much better strat for that. This was found by Ethraud, I believe. Either a collaboration between Eth and Dadan, or just Dadan, or just Eth. I think it was just Eth though. But when you spawn into the fight, everything's the same. I like to run along the little ring here, and then when he breathes fire, you don't jump up and hit him normally. You actually do a downward strike. Look at the amount of health that takes it out. So if I go back to the beginning of the fight, that's one regular slash versus a doom strike, or a downward strike hit. So that's like almost half his health right there. And we used to think this was a really hard strat, but the trick is to just go for a downward strike as fast as you can, like mash X and then triangle. So you're basically doing a downward strike at the absolute height that you can, because if you like just XX triangle like you would any other time, there's a good chance you could miss. It's not a specific hitbox necessarily, but the hitbox is high. It's a very tall hitbox, so you just have to double tap X and then hit triangle all as fast as you possibly can, and then you could try to not get hit. It doesn't really matter if you do or not, because you're going to be picking the armor anyways. And then here we still damage boost as normal. He shoots his fire, and the good thing is that the amount of time you waste here in comparison like doing the regular hit method is that he starts to kind of delay when he's going to breathe his fire next. So here, like the second time he breathes it, it's instant every single time, which is great, because then I want to say it's not this one, but it's the one after he delays it by a lot. That one he goes pretty quickly, and then he fucking brings yeah. And then he brings the stage. My god, I haven't fought him regularly in so long. He brings the stage down, and then you wait, get hit, run around. Never mind, that one was instant. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure you gotta wait quite a bit. And then he says, come get some. And then he breathes the fire, yeah. Now you just fucking do 2 downward strikes. Try to not get hit if you want, doesn't matter. And then you intentionally damage yourself. That's it. On the 3rd hit, you just hit him normally. You could shield throw, you could do whatever you want, because he is so little health. There's no point in going for a 3rd downward strike at the risk of you missing. You could just hit him normally. It's a lot faster too. You could shield throw him if you have like 1 tick of Armageddon left miraculously, which is pretty much impossible, or if you're going for an all kiss run. So this fight helps out for the all kiss a lot, because it only uses up 2 ticks of your actual sword, and then like you get to shield throw him for the 3rd hit, so you only hit him for 2 hits, and you only lose 2 bars. You only take 2 hits of health against him, assuming you're able to jump up and avoid the shockwave. It's kind of hard, honestly, but for the amount of time you save, it makes no difference. So in theory, you could fight him on 1 bar of health with one hit taken out, because you're only going to be taking 2 hits. Normally, when you wanted to fight him, fuck, I forget how many hits it was. I think you, if you entered this fight with 2 full bars, you would end up with half a bar left. So if you came in with 1 damage, you'd end up on 1 health. I could be wrong, but I think that's how we used to do it. But yeah, that's about it. And then the next skip, or the next change, comes to us in 5-1, where everything plays out the same up until bridge skip. Because back then, especially when I made this guy back in fucking May, we did not know how to line up bridge skip all that well. And by we, I pretty much mean me. We knew about bridge skip, but we didn't really know how to line it up all that great. So back then, it was kind of a fucking Hail Mary. You take the woe, and then you pray that you get hit properly. And then you could clearly see in that demonstration, I get it, but it wasn't, it was fucking ugly. So, but now, oh baby. Everything plays up the same up until we get here. I like to jump on top of the guy pretty much, so that when you double jump away, he's behind you and he ignores you. Because if you were to kill him, I believe it spawns the bomber skeleton a lot sooner, or if you get too close to the Dark Knight. So Armageddon, or you'll magic bolt, the bomber stays alive, so that when you get to this point, the yellow skeleton and the black skeleton that spawn here will spawn at the exact same time, because otherwise if you kill the bomber, the way they spawn is a lot different. Like one's gonna spawn before the other, and when that happens, it throws off the timing completely. So now they'll spawn together. Jump over them both, preferably kind of over the black one. Like for the skip, you completely ignore the yellow skeleton. So you're gonna jump over the black one. They're both gonna hit. You'll take a woe, and then as he approaches, you just go for it again. It's not that hard of a trick. We used to think it was this fucking NASA level skip that like you just couldn't fucking pull it off. Like if you pulled it off, it was the god run automatically, and that was the only way to break world record. And it still is. It's the only way to get a world record now. But we're hitting this way more consistently. Like now, I'm not the only one who's hit it during a run. Like in all my records, we get it. Didun's gotten it in a bunch of his videos, like his emulator world record and him almost breaking the actual console record. Like it's the only way to break the record now, sure, but it's so much easier. All you need to do is just practice it, honestly. There's a checkpoint not too far back that you can just take it, so that if you die here, you just keep trying over and over, or you could just play it on emulator and do it. But yeah, you seriously, you jump over the skeleton, take a woe to grab the key, and even if you miss the key, doesn't matter. So you just take that first one, be at the edge, so that when you go for the second one, like you don't really have to time it. We thought you had to do this wicked timing, but it's not. Like the leeway is really good. Yeah, just as he gets close, you'll lean forward again, just keep holding up, he'll hit you, you'll fall clean off. As long as you time the double jump right too, because a lot of people fucking freak out and double jump way too early. And then you get through and then nothing changes. You still just, you take them out in 3 magic bolts, and then that's that. And the next skip, it comes to us from the Achilles fight, where you could only do this trick on PAL, funny enough. If you're playing on NTSC, like the American one, you could pull it off as well. But it doesn't work the exact same way, because in the American version, when you take out the generators with this strat, Achilles gonna have more, he's gonna regain more HP than on European, where he actually doesn't gain back like any of his health virtually. I figured out this fucking trick, making the dumbest video of all time. I figured out that you're able to do in a lot of scenarios and a lot of boss fights, you could perform inputs right like the frame before a cutscene starts. You could do it during the Ghastly Gus fight. I think you could input like a jump or a shield throw. I don't think you could input a hit just because you spawn like an inch off the ground. So when you spawn in, you kind of land. So I think you could input a an air attack, like an air slash and a shield throw, I think. And that's the whole reason why this works right here. I'll show it off. Like I'll let Didun show it off first, and I'll show you how I figured out this trick.
Like I got it here.
Yeah. So you mash the fuck out of triangle.
It's just mash.
And when you land it, like you don't even see yourself do the attack. Like, but Achilles dead right now.
Like that. See, you killed him. You skipped.
I love this fucking trick so much. Yeah, because you save cutscene time too. But I figured out that you could perform one of those frame perfect attacks during the the fucking all bosses no damage video. At the very end, I showed up this little, I guess you could call it a glitch. But I don't know how many people, like, it got a good amount of views. Yeah, I got 155 views. I don't know that anyone made it this far without me telling them about this trick. But I inputted a shield throw. And then you get that little funny thing. So, all because of that fucking no damage video, I figured out, hey, you could hit Achilles right before the cutscene starts. Because I was just mashing the fuck out of circle, because back then for Achilles, I would always input a shield throw. Or I wouldn't input a shield throw, but I would do a shield throw at the very end, because when he runs out of souls, it always seemed like he would get the first hit on you. But when you hit him, he's got that kind of time where he can't attack you. I'll show it off right here. It's like right there. I found that whenever you would run up and attack him, he would always get the jump on you. So this way you could shield throw him, and then yeah, you just get the first blow. But I never would have thought about inputting a like an overhead, and I never would have thought that this would have led to probably the second biggest skip in the whole game. Bridge skip is cool and all, but it is not that hard to pull off anymore. It was probably, I think it's still the biggest skip in terms of time save and in terms of just at the time not knowing that there was actually another sequence break besides fucking skipping the bridge in the last level of World 1. Why isn't that coming to me? Regardless, that was the only sequence break really when I started running the game, where you jump on the bridge, it collapses, you jump back, and then you finish it off. I could show it off right here. Oh no, I can't. Oh, I can, but it's the second level I play. Oh, that's world record, that's why. Doesn't matter. But yeah, when you get here,
like, oh, hey, I'm not gonna be working there anymore.
yeah, jump on that bridge and then you just jump back. That was the only sequence break that we knew about at the time until bridge skip was discovered, and then we did that instead. For a while, after I got one of the world record videos, him and Eth were like, every week it seemed they were finding something new. They found well, I found the Dark Knight skip. That was another silly little thing that I ended up discovering. Do I show it off? I know I show it off. Yeah, this one. Where I was just fucking around with Gino and Nicole, and I was just like convinced, like, yeah, you could definitely make this jump. Just kept doing it over and over. Yeah. Besides that, like, they were finding everything under the sun, skip wise. Yeah, they came up with Fast Achilles. They came up with the skip with Go with the Flow, where you could do it faster. That was mainly Didun, I think. Um, Dun came up with the fucking fast Bokor where you just do the magic bolt on him. Like that was Dun's idea. I didn't even know you could charge up magic bolt. I've been playing this game for like almost 20 years, pretty much. Like right here, like I didn't know you could do this until Dun kind of
Oh my god,
like
he's so good.
uploaded the video of it. Like he was nuts. Both of them. They still play the game. They're still looking for shit in the game. I'm trying to help out. Not nearly as much as Eth was at the time, but thanks to them too, the game looks like how it looks now, and it's insane because of them. And another thing that I want to go over, because that's all for oh wait, no, there's actually one more thing that I don't go over. In the speedrun guide for the Sophia fight, the only change, there isn't even a change to it really. But I mentioned that if you have Mighty Blow,
We hit her with the overhead slash here.
here I'll say,
Having Mighty Blow actually fucks us over.
yeah, I say that if you have Mighty Blow, it fucks us over, but that's not the case. Do I have Mighty Blow in this fight? Because I want to say I fight Sophia that way. Oh, see, I miss, but it doesn't matter because I'll show off the way that if you have Mighty Blow, you'll just do a downward strike to attack her. Like there, she charging for whatever reason, but you can downward strike, hit her for the full overhead strike damage. So I think I'll do it again. Yeah. The magic bolt. Yep. That's something I don't go over in the in-depth guide because at the time I knew it existed, but I just completely neglected to even talk about it, I'm pretty sure. If I'm not mistaken. But regardless, if you have Mighty Blow, or if you're just not comfortable doing the overhead strike, because it's kind of weird to line up sometimes. The downward strike is super fucking brain dead. It's super easy, and in this way, if she charges you, like sometimes after the second hit, that's the guide. Yeah, like you'll see here when I do the second downward strike, sometimes she'll charge at you, and if you don't have a magic bolt or whatever, she runs towards you if you miss the magic bolt or whatever, so you could just do another downward strike and kill her. So that's funny. The world record would have been a 50:08 technically. Doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the last thing. The difficulty ratings I was giving all the levels, like a lot of them because of the new strats. I want to talk about how the difficulty has like been affected. For World 1, Level 1, exact same. Like I'd keep it at a 1 out of 10 for sure. 1, 2, still 1 difficulty, definitely. Nothing changed there. Level 3 being a 2 difficulty is kind of debatable because the only hard trick is this one, where you just jump over onto the coffin. I'd probably give that like a 1.5 instead of a 2 tops. Like for a brand new runner, that's probably a cool trick for them to pull off. That might require practice, but like no more than like 5 minutes of actual attempts before they nail it permanently. I'd give it a 1 and a 5, like at the very most. And then this one, 2 difficulty. I'd only give it a 2 difficulty for that very first jump that you saw me pull off. Like that one there, like sometimes it just doesn't work. But that one too, it'd probably have like a 1.5 at the very most, because then skipping the bridge later on is completely brain dead. Like that, it's not a hard trick to pull off in the slightest. And then killing these guys properly sometimes just doesn't work, but that too, that's not a difficulty thing. That's just sometimes the shielded skeleton will block. So yeah, probably give that 1.5. Glider Scum with shield throw is a fucking 1 difficulty, easily. If you don't have shield throw, I'd still call it maybe like a 1, 1.5 tops, again, just because the way he charges you, you just have to like do a downward strike and have him walk into it. Like that's not hard, it's just annoying. But sometimes you might just miss, and then he'll whack you, and then if he hits you, it's a literal run killer, because then he'll just stand still when you try to hit him with another one, so you gotta wait for him to charge after you again. It's a whole deal. I wouldn't call that difficult. That maybe one in every 500 runs that'll happen to me. Like I can count on a hand how many times it's actually happened. But regardless, like that's fine. World 2 level 1 2.5 difficulty. No, I'd probably call that a fucking 1.5. The only hard thing about this level is the vines here. Getting the vines without missing is the only difficult part, because sometimes your controller just doesn't like the swirling input. Yeah, see, that's like I can't fucking do that. Are you kidding me? I can't do that in a normal run. So I'd probably give it a 1.5. There's no way that's 2.5 difficulty. I'm a fucking idiot. Because then the rest of the level is super easy. There's nothing complicated about it. And this level, I talk about it being a fucking 7 difficulty. No. Since we don't go for the shield strat anymore, I'd probably give this one maybe a 3. Because, like, if you miss a jump, you're falling in the tar, the whole run's dead. But that, too, it's pretty uncommon that it does happen. The lead up, getting to the armor, like, you have a fucking time window here, but it's so hard to miss the window. You get some nice drops from killing these guys. I do the spin attack here, but you can just jump on the outside and save even more time. But the rest of the level plays out the exact same. It's not even difficult, but at the very end, like here, with how unpredictable it is, that's probably why I'd give it a 3 difficulty. Like, if it went the same way every single time, like, if they didn't spawn around the crystals, so you don't keep constantly mashing into it like I do, I'd probably give it a fucking 2 difficulty. But I'd probably knock it down to 3 because of the whole no more shield throw bullshit. This one being a 5 sounds about right. Quick and Dead is so annoying. I hate this fucking level. For like a guy that's new to running this game, I'd probably crank it up to maybe like a 6 because of landing the cycle, learning how the game physics work, stopping to pick up drops and still making the cycle. That's kind of annoying, but like for me, a 5 sounds about right. Like, it definitely doesn't take me 5 attempts to beat it, that's for sure. But otherwise, there's nothing too complicated. Like, sometimes you'll mistime the jump on the logs and the turtle shells. That's fine, that's whatever. Like here, in theory, I think I could have made that for the faster cycle, but instead I stopped. But you can see the fast cycle, like the amount of time it saves is kind of low for the amount of drops you could pick up that'll end up saving a run later on. But like, those jumps are super easy. The harder jumps come here, like landing this one, like, yeah, that's pretty safe from me. And you're allowed to be safe with it too. Like, you don't have to fucking risk it, be like frame perfect, pixel perfect when you jump on them. But that whole section's kind of difficult. So a 5 sounds about right. I'd probably leave it there, yeah. What did I give this one? 2.5. No, this level's fucking easy. I'd probably give it a 1.5, honestly. I can't think of anything complicated about, like, landing the spin attack there is bullshit, yeah. And then here, I don't even go for the shield throw strat, which saves you even more time, like, because you gotta wait for this guy to spawn anyways. I didn't even talk about that. You gotta wait for this guy to spawn, which blocks the vine, but you could just do a double jump, hit the vine with your shield, if you have shield throw, and then when you come back down, you'll just hit the vine twice rather than doing the spin attack. The only difficult part about this level is if you don't have magic bolt, you could jump like right over there and pick it up, but it fucks the camera all up, so you gotta stop, turn around and all that. But that's not difficult. That's just a pain in the ass and a time loss. So I'd probably give it a 1.5 to 2 tops. What did I give Bokor? 5.5. Unpredictable. 2 abilities are a necessity. Not true. You only need... no. You need shield throw. You absolutely need a shield throw. If you don't have Doom Strike, you don't... It doesn't matter. You just go for the spin attack. Magic Bolt you get for free. So if you don't have shield throw or you don't have Doom Strike, you get the free Magic Bolt. The only hard part is landing the Magic Bolt attack. But that one too, you just practice it. I don't think I'd give it a 5.5. If you have shield throw, if you have Magic Bolts, I'd probably give it maybe a 4. And that's just because the Magic Bolt landing is kind of unpredictable sometimes. But if you miss, like, it's not hard to just relegate your mistake, honestly. Because doing the spin attack is super easy. Like, ignoring Doomstrike, ignoring Magic Bolt, if you just do the spin attack in front of him when he comes after you, and then you just shield throw the last one, like, it's super fucking easy. It's not that hard of a fight. Now that we know, take the outer ring, do the spin attack correctly, and then just shield throw the last guy, like, it's a super self-explanatory fight. I would not give it a 5.5. I'd give it a... if you're doing Magic Bolt, I'd give it a 4. If you're doing just the spin attack, I'd probably give it a 2.5. This level, I'd give a fucking 1 difficulty. There's nothing complicated about it. The most complicated part is, not here, wait for it. This jump, because I think I failed it here, yeah. Just hitting the icicle and then jumping and making the low jump without losing time to the invincibility expiring. That's the hardest part, and that's not hard. This is probably the easiest level in the game, in my opinion. I'm only like 15% joking. This is a 1 difficulty, 100%. There's nothing complicated about this level. It is a great level. The only annoying part is that if your kill counter is off and you kill this guy and you he could sometimes drop the Ice Sword, he could drop Mighty Blow, he could just fuck you over. But sometimes he could drop Doomstrike, the extended shield throw, which I've been getting a lot recently from him, so. But it's a fucking no-brainer level. You spend like the whole level invincible. Yeah, definitely a 1 difficulty. This one's 7.5 is fucking stupid. That is not true. This one I toned the difficulty down to 3 maybe, and the only difficult part about it, getting the cycle, like knowing where the ship is, just based on when you get to it, that's the only hard part about it, and that's not even hard. If you played this game enough, you speedrun it enough, you just know where the ship is going to be at. You take that low jump, super brain dead, it's no problem, you just run through, you get the key here. Make sure you're in the air when the invincibility runs out. And then you just jump over these guys when they attack so that they stay where they are. You get the gold key. And you just take a low jump. Like, it's not hard. And then you take another one. And then the end section too is not that complicated. You ignore that guy, whatever. You jump down here, you do a spin attack to take out the Yeti and the guy spawning. I probably missed it though. Now I get it. You just walk forward, Magic Bolt him. I'm very far back though. And there, you don't even need to just spin. You just do a fucking regular hit them both. And then Doomstrike to take out all these guys. And if you don't have Doomstrike, you just do a fucking spin attack and you'll get at least these 3 guys, and then you just hit that guy normally. It's not a hard level. It's hard when you first start out, for sure. That's why I probably have it a 7.5. Like, at this point, I'd maybe only been running for like a few months, maybe. No, I'd crank this down to fucking 3, maybe. 3 if I'm feeling generous, honestly. This level doesn't really mess with me anymore. Like, at this point now, I'm like 900 runs deep. If I lose here, it's fully my fault. It is not the game's fault. It's me being an absolute dumbass. And like, yeah, no. Now, funny enough, Go With The Flow is one of those levels that fucks with me. If I take an extended break from the game, like if I take a long leave of absence, this is the level that fucks with me. I think 3 difficulties fair, just for like, this part I hate. Because if you jump too far in the middle onto this platform, the skeleton that spawns here just fucking pushes you off. And then instantly your flow cycle is off. But if you land in front here like I do, that's fine. You take a little ledge boost off there. Back when I made this video, I didn't really know how to line up to land on this. And yeah, you're aiming for like that kind of... Pointed out here, it's hard to because the fucking video quality is so low, I don't know why. But you're aiming for that little point there, basically. Like, you can see how the polygons line up because it's a fucking PS2 game. Take a jump there, and then you just mash X when you make it to this point. And then you'll just land up no problem. That's fucking scary. I don't know how that happened. And here, you just take a fucking low jump off. I took it at a very awkward angle. And you just take another one. But whenever I take a break from this fucking game, for like more than a month basically, and I try to get back into it, I'm going for runs, I always lose the run. A really good run where I'm maybe like 40 seconds ahead. At this point, it's impossible, but I could be 40 seconds ahead. I try, everything's going perfect. I make it there and I miss a jump. I miss something. Like, something just gets fucked up. And I don't know why. It's not a hard level. So yeah, 3 out of 10. I feel like that makes sense just because there's that little part at the beginning where the skeleton, if that skeleton wasn't there, I'd probably crank it down to a 2, maybe a 1.5. It's not that hard of a level, but that skeleton spawning at the beginning throws me off because I'll still sometimes hit him. And then getting that double jump at the end is at the end, getting that double jump like getting this trick to work after I take a break is kind of hard sometimes for no reason. So yeah, probably bring it down to, I'll give it a 2.5. Cannonball Run I probably have stupidly high as well. Yeah, 6 out of 10, that's not true. This one I toned down to maybe like a 3, 3.5. The only reason being that for some people, like at this point I've gotten so used to it, like just going for the ledge boost is complicated for me. But if I go for the whoa jump, it's like I can make it to this part like 100% of the time at this point. I'm not missing the whoa jump. The only thing that fucks with me now is the cannonball section. Like over here, like this last one, that one that spawns right there, sometimes will just hit me. I don't know why. I don't know, because the cycle I think only starts when it actually loads in. It's not one of those like cycle based cycles like every other one in the game, but like this one only spawns in once you get close enough to it. So like I think the cannonball pattern is always the same once you get here. But for whatever reason, sometimes that last one I'll double jump over, I'll get hit and I'll just fall off. Sometimes I'll do a double jump, it'll be perfectly fine. Here I've missed that jump plenty of times. So I'd probably call this like, I'll give it a 3 difficulty, just because I don't know how to fix the cannonball issue. If I knew how, then I'd lower it, but for me right now, I don't think there's a strat. So yeah, I think 3 difficulty sounds about right. Definitely not 6, that's fucking excessive. 2.5 for Cadaver, absolutely not. If you're going for the brain dead method here, it's a 1 difficulty. If you're going for the slightly faster method, I'd probably give that a 1.5. The only hard part about this fight, and it's not hard in the slightest, is lining up that shield throw. And the way you line it up is you jump diagonal right, and then you throw your shield. Like that. Like that's a fucking brain dead trick. And then you hit him normally. And then if you do this, I almost find this more complicated now than just going behind him and then fighting him the normal way, the good way. You hit him, go behind him, like throw your shield. I'd probably give that like a 1.5, I guess, just because I know some people struggle with it, but I have never struggled with it ever, really. It's just something I never thought about implementing in the run. What do I give it without? Well, yeah, without shield throw. Yeah, 3 difficulty sounds right though. The fucking pain in the like, and the only reason for that too is just the initial hit. Like this hit here without shield throw is so annoying, and you lose so much fire sword because every time you hit him, even if it's like a non-damaging hit, like you'll see here, that takes out a tick from the fire sword. So it's a long fight. It's not a hard fight, but it's long. Lining up the first hit is almost impossible, I find. Like to hit him and then have him go into the grate instantly, it's like impossible. But for 1, 3.5 difficulty, I don't know. Easy to learn, taking too much damage is easy, whatever. Almost identical every time you play. That's true for skeleton kill the run. If you're new to the game, like I was, I guess at the time, that first skeleton that spawns in is a nightmare, this guy. But the trick is just like that, just low hop, and then you'll just get over him every single time. But now the level, like that's a cycle. That's the only cycle-based thing in this game, technically. Oh no, there's the swing shit at the end. I'd probably call this one a 2 difficulty, and the only reason is that every now and then you could just die for no reason. It's World 4. World 4 is really a pain in the ass. But there's nothing complicated about it. If you take too much damage, so what? Like now that we have the faster way of killing glider scum, we don't have to worry about our health so much, and there's a lot of spots that you could get armor for free. And then there you just damage boost, like that's not hard. Like, yeah, the whole thing is fucking brain dead. Yeah, I'd probably give that a 2 tops, and only because of all the pitfalls that you could fall in if you're not being careful. Down the gullet, 5 difficulty. If you have Doomstrike, That's the same difficulty, just don't lose time. I don't think I give it a 5 difficulty. I'd probably give this one a 3 or a 4. I'd only give it a 4 because this is like this is the sleeper level. Like this one, it's the same thing every single time. There's nothing that complicated about it. But at this point, you'll be so confident in your running ability that you'll neglect it, and then something really stupid will fucking kill you. Like I've missed this jump plenty of times. I've cleared the shield skeleton and fallen into the pitfall. I've missed that jump. This one, very rare, but like still, it's happened to me because I'm so confident when I play this level. This part's really easy to get through damageless. What jumps have I missed here? I've cleared that jump. I've just fucking cleared it completely where the skeleton has just fallen into the pitfall. I've missed that jump where I've like hit the lip and just fallen on the wrong side of it. So like sometimes when you land on the corners of stages, you'll either like kind of clip onto it or off of it, depending on how far you are, I guess, on it. I've missed plenty of times on that jump. Not a hard jump, but I've been hit by it. Those guys are hard to clear without taking a hit. That guy could be a bit of a bitch, but like there's armor right there if you're getting too low. For 100 coins at this point, you probably have it. My most recent like really good run before I got world record, I missed this jump. I just jumped and was on the front side of this platform. I just fell and died. Like I've never lost a run that way. There's a lot of very small areas to lose a run that they're not necessarily complicated. They're just, you'll neglect them. Like right here too, and now I take the ledge boost, but there's been plenty of times where there's been like a couple times where I go for the ledge boost and I just don't make it. So that's a pain in the ass too, but it's not that hard of a level. I'd probably give it a 4 just because this is another one of those, if you take a long break from the game, get back to it, you'll probably lose a run here from stupidities. I don't think I'd give this one a 5 either. Like, for someone who's never played this level, it's not that, like, they'll be so worried about the saw blades that that's probably gonna be their entire focus. But what's the hardest part of this fucking level? Like, oh, whoops, that's a wrong one. Yeah, not really difficult, very hard damages, that's fine. Again, we don't really worry about our health in World 4. Easy to die stupidities. There's only like a couple I could think of. I would not call it hard to practice. That is not true. Inconsistent, not true in the fucking slightest. Holy shit, I'm stupid back then. Because this is the only consistent part here is kind of making the right cycle here. So you can just jump around those guys, not hard to do. Just making this cycle. I actually got a, yeah, it's a very good cycle for the practice. And then here you just, yeah, you jump low and then you double jump once you clear. Like, that's not hard. I've lost a run here just being stupid, like not hard at all. Then you run up. Sometimes you have to wait. Oh no, waiting. And then yeah, take the fucking jump pads and then you just damage boost through everything. I don't know what I mean by inconsistent. What's inconsistent? Yeah, just damage boost, and then you fucking beat the level. Like, that's probably a 2 difficulty. What I call it? Yeah, I don't lose any runs to this fucking level. Fuck you. That's 2 difficulty for sure. This is the one I thought I was talking about. 9 difficulty for someone who's brand new to speedrunning this game and is going for the strat. Yeah, I'd call it a 9 difficulty. Purely for this part. But now I've played this game so many times, like, I know which cog I'm landing on based on where the where the whole gear is on like the little spindle. Like, just by looking at the video, I know I need to jump on that one. And sure enough, it just lines up perfectly. Like, when I first started fucking running this game, I could not land that. It was a very hard one to practice, but like, now I can't remember the last time I lost a run to that. So, for a brand new runner, 9 out of 10, yeah, for sure. For me though, this level is just an auto-scroller. The whole thing is an auto-scroller. I'd probably give it like a 2 difficulty. For the one random time I might miss that jump, and I seriously cannot remember in the last few hundred runs where I last died to that. And this section is completely free. You'll never be able to make that cycle. It's impossible until we find a new skip. And then here, that's fine. You can literally just wait. And then just knowing when to jump on this is not complicated. And then you jump, and then kind of, yeah, that was awkward for the guide, but whatever. The camera control here is really fucking bad too, but once you're running the game, you're not really reliant on constantly updating the camera, and then you jump, double jump, low attack, magic bolt, and that's the whole level. So this is one of those jumps that sometimes you'll get too cocky after playing the game for so long that you'll just miss it. I know that it happened to Dan not too long ago, but like this too, I failed more runs to the beginning than the end part here. I've maybe failed a run twice in my entire like speedrunning history with this game. Yeah, this level is a fucking 2 difficulty now for me. This is not 9. And normal glow skin, I don't care about 1 HP remaining. 1 out of 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'd crank it up with the new strat. I'd probably call it a 2 difficulty with the new strat. For someone just learning how to do the strat, it's probably a fucking like 7 difficulty because it just feels like it doesn't work sometimes. But when I was learning this trick, when it was brand new to me, I was nailing it no problem every single time. I'd fail it randomly and be like, what the fuck did I do wrong? But doing the new method where you just downward strike them, like it's a fucking... For me, it's still a 1 difficulty. But going for that trick is just ever so slightly harder than running around in a circle and then damaging yourself. Like it's not that much harder for me. For a normal runner, I'd probably call that like a 3, because you like if you miss it once, you could go for it a second time. Pretty much, you get a second shot at it. You'll lose time, but you have 2 attempts, and then you only have to do it 1 more time. Like the fact that you only do this trick twice, like whatever. Yeah, I'm calling that 1 difficulty. Bridge skip, I have at fucking 11 now. Hasn't been done in a run yet. False. Been done in plenty now. Inconsistent, incredibly false. Instant run killer, world drag. Yeah, that's still true. If you're on a good run, like you'll lose it. But now you have to be on world record pace to like go for it. I mean, like even if you're not on world record pace, you have to go for it. So huge gamble, not true, because now it's the only way to progress. Even if pulled off, not a guarantee to have enough Armageddon for the 2 bosses. Incredibly true. Incredibly true. Very sad. It saves an insane amount of time in 5.153. Yep, still true. But yeah, no, this has been done so many times now that's false. This came out in May. Today it is September 14th of 2022. So yeah, quite a bit of time has passed since I made this video. My god, this video is old. Ew. And it's not a gamble. Like again, you at this point in the speedrunning history, you have no choice but to go for it. It is an instant run killer because you're throwing yourself off into a cliff. And if you die, and at this point, if you die at any point in a run, you're not getting world record, which is whatever. You could still PB. But if you're not going for world record, you're just going for a decent PB, there's a checkpoint really close by to it. So I would not call it 11 out of 10. For someone who's like they're speedrunning Maximo, they're getting good, and they're at the point where they're like, I think I could go for bridge skip now. I think I could actually land bridge skip. As long as they know how to line it up, like to a certain degree, I'd maybe give it like a 7 or an 8, because it's the total Hail Mary. But as long as you're practicing, for me, bridge skip, I might fail 1 in every like 10 times. Maybe. Yeah. I'm at the point now where I should not be failing bridge skip, but it still might happen. 1 in 10 seems a bit high, honestly. I don't fail it that often. especially now that we know how to line it up. Like sometimes like lining it up just won't work, and it's super rare, but if that happens, like it's unfortunate, but it's kind of out of your control, and now the run is fucked because the game just didn't work in your favor. For me personally, I'd probably give it, fuck, that's tough, man. I'd probably give it like a 3 or a 4, just because this is not the hardest level for me. Like I have a higher success rate with this level than I do a lot of the other early levels. I have a higher success rate with this at this point now than I do with Cannonball, probably. Like in my last 250 runs, let's say, I've probably lost more runs to Cannonball Run than I have to this level. So I'd probably give it a 3. I'll give it a 3.5 because I can't decide 3 or 4. I'll give it 3.5. And it was like, it's also, if you fail bridge skip, like it's annoying, but you failed one of the harder tricks in the game. Like you could get over it. It's probably the second hardest trick you could pull off. But if you practice it enough, like you'll just get over it. Like this trick too, like this one was really hard for me at the beginning. It's not hard at all. It's a very easy trick. Hard for another new runner, but at this point it's not too bad. Four out of 10 if you're not going for the fucking bridge skip. This is probably a 2 out of 10 level. Honestly, it's not that bad. What level do I give? 7 out of 10. No, I had reasoning too. What's the reasoning?
Have a shield throw during your runs. Is for the level coming up.
Shut up, fuck. Short level, fantastic. I wouldn't call it inconsistent enemy spawns at the end. It's how you kill the enemies. And I'm still not fully, I'm not perfect with lining it up and getting the enemies to spawn in the right way that I want to. But that's whatever. There's the one saving grace with this level is there's a lot of opportunities to get the lightning shield. So that's really nice. And easy spots to take bad damage, that's technically true, but you're going fast, you have to kind of damage boost anyways. So I think that's a kind of a lame reason. The only, like the hardest thing with this level now is with NTSC, you can just do this. You can do that. You can't do that on PAL. So you kind of have to jump at a different spot and do a magic bolt somewhere else. That's not even a difficulty thing. It's more of an annoyance. 7 out of 10, I would probably crank down to. I nail bridge skip more than I get a 1 cycle in the garden at the very end. Like I think I nail it in the speedrun guide here. Yeah, doing this perfectly with everyone dying and no one, like, not have to kill any extra guys. Yeah, I have done bridge skip so many more times than I've done that. That alone, I'd probably call like a 4 difficulty. Just this part alone. The whole level is incredibly easy, but actually getting a 1 cycle is hard. But you saw I got lightning shield. If I failed, I could just kill them with the lightning shield and save my Armageddon. Like that's how much Armageddon you'll always go into the is the Great Escape or Dungeon of Despair? I always get them mixed up. Yeah, for Dungeon of Despair, you'll always enter with this amount if everything went right. So yeah, probably would give it a 4. This bad boy though, this bitch. 10 out of 10 difficulty. The only difficult part is longest level in the game. Very true. So there's a lot more opportunities to fail. There's a lot of weird jumps to take. It makes sense. If an Armageddon or sword charges drop, the run dies. That's true. That's not a difficulty thing though. That's just a fucking pain in the ass when that happens. If you guys watch my runs, you know how volatile Armageddon could be. Sometimes you'll get a full drop at the very end. Sometimes you'll have 10 runs in a row go to Achille pretty much, and you'll just have 0 Armageddon for the fight. Weird physics on the Frogger section. No, that's not true. Nerves are really high at this point. Yeah. The nerves get higher than at the beginning of the level. And the run killer is absolutely true. This is the level that determines if you're going to get a new world record or not. And 50 plus minutes on the drain, that's true. It's more like 40-ish. But yeah. The only hard part is just doing it fast enough to make the cycle. And I think I get it here, but like you play through it normally. yada yada yada. Getting through here is hard to do. Like, this section here is really hard to do without taking too much damage and going fast at the same time. It's like, that's a fucking bad hit. Yeah, I was gonna say I probably got hit again. It's like, look at my HP now, that's not good. So if everything lines up properly, you should get a good cycle like that. This is cutting it close. That's cutting it really fucking close. And the trick with the coffins here, where I said it, they have bad physics, it's not true. If you just, again, look for this little pixel here, just jump off at the edge of it, and you'll always make it. Like when I was younger, when I played the game, I'd always miss the jump. But it's not hard to line up. And at this point, like, you're smooth sailing. There's nothing else to worry about. The only thing you're worrying about is getting Armageddon. Like, that guy's easy to jump over. You get the gold key, kill that guy, and then it's literally like, I'd get closer and let the guy spawn in and then do it. Like, I really do it early there, and because of that, more guys spawn than normal, like that. And that fucking match built there was super stupid. But yeah, no, 10 out of 10. I'd maybe call it like an 8. I don't think any of them get higher than 8. Just because there's so many spots that you'll take damage. There's so many spots that you'll just fall and die for no reason. You won't get enough Armageddon, which, again, not a difficulty thing, but oh my god, it's an annoying thing. Probably the hardest level at this point for me, compared to all the other ones. I probably lose more runs here than anything else. And then the Achilles fight. If you're going for fast Achilles is a fucking 10 out of 10 for me right now. Like, getting the perfect fast Achilles. If you're not going for fast Achilles, he's like a 4. And the only thing is just doing this section properly. And in not this world record, but the one before, I fucked it up miserably. But definitely not a 7 out of 10. Probably like a 4. And the Sophia fight, 7 out of 10 is not true. Sometimes unpredictable, that is true. Nerves are super high if you're on world record pace yet. Mighty blow, guarantee bad fight, not anymore. Minimum 4 charges Armageddon for the perfect fight. That's fine, that's easy. Need magic bolt for the perfect fight, which you get for free. Okay. Magic bolt sometimes doesn't hit. That's true. Whatever. That's kind of a fucking exaggeration, because you stand still for the whole fight. Definitely not a 7 out of 10. Yeah, like that was like the perfect magical. That was really good. I'd probably give that like maybe a 3. I'd give it a 2, but there's sometimes where she'll charge you and she'll run around, and not everyone knows that if you downward strike when she's right in front of you, even if she charged you, you'll still do damage to her. Like, people think that you could only attack her when she's in like right there. People think you can only hit her there, but like, you could hit her in the fucking dark like that. That's why the magic bolt there works, because if you miss the magic bolt, she'll come after you, but you can just do a downward trick and you'll hit her and it'll kill her still. So just that knowledge there, maybe like a 2.5. Just know it, like, for me personally, because I'm decent at landing the downward strike on her, but she's not a hard fight. And if everything goes swimmingly, it's the easiest fucking one of the easiest boss fights in the game. But yeah, I think that does it. That's everything I wanted to go over. I wanted to keep this video short. I'm looking at the recording time now. It's probably, hopefully I could get this down in less than an hour, because that's a lot of me that you gotta listen to, and I'm sorry for that. But this has been on my mind forever. I've been wanting to go over this for quite some time. And I'm glad you guys have been sticking around for the Maximo content. Like, all the world record love that you guys have been showing me. Like, in 9 days, 50 views. That's awesome. But like, where is it? The last world record got 766. The world record before that got 1,700. Like, craziness, man. So thank you guys for watching all the Maximo stuff. I really do appreciate it. If there's anything else you thought that I might have missed, want to cover, whatever, just let me know. Comment. I have a Discord all about Maximo, So if you guys want to join that, I'll leave a link for it as well. But I think on that note, I'll call it here. And yeah, thanks for watching. Glad to see new people running the game. It's always really nice. Got plenty of friendly people, always willing to help out with learning the routes and just any general questions for the game. If you have any of those, like, feel free to contact me, us, anyone. I'm always available. So thanks for checking it out, guys. Bye-bye.